All right, Shane. How are ya?
Good. How are you? I'm staying downstairs in my bedroom, not my bedroom, my basement today, sitting next to a fire, staying warm.
That would probably be the place to be today if you didn't have anywhere to be.
Right.
So I know you try to give us a weekly update of what's going on in your world and what's kind of going around in the community. So because you got some events you want to talk about.
Yes, I do. Other than, the ranchers out here trying to keep their calves going after getting so wet and everything, that's a big activity, but we've got a lot of other things going on too. We did have the Community Minded Solutions meeting on Wednesday night where the community gathered and talked about and had a great consternation over this apartment complex going up on 8th and Spring. There's a pretty good discussion about that. I think they came up with a plan. And then also the passing of Bob Gackey, who used to be on the board for Community Minded Solutions. He was remembered there. And that was a sad occasion there. Then in the future we have things coming up that I want to make sure we keep our spidey senses up on to go to, and that is the Lincoln Reagan Dinner, March 29th. It's a Sunday, and it's at the Yogo Inn. Come on in, but beginning about 5, and the guy that we want to hear mostly, I think, at least I do, is this U.S. Attorney Almy, who filed as soon as Senator Daines withdrew his application for re-election. Now, Almy is a U.S. Attorney that none of us know. I think we need to show up in Lewistown on March 29th at the Lincoln Reagan Dinner to just learn more about him at the Yogo Inn. And $40 at the door because we have a meal for everybody and also the room rent. So $40 at the door for individuals, and if you want to sponsor a table of 8, that's $320. But other things going on at that Lincoln Reagan Dinner. We do have a lot of local races going on. Everybody probably knows by now the county sheriff is in a contested race. The county attorney is in a contested race. County commissioner Ross Butcher has a contested race. And uncontested, we have, the clerk and recorder, treasurer, justice of the peace. And we also have Chris Rendell has filed to run against the senator for this area, Barry Usher. So I fully expect those guys to be there to introduce themselves to the community and just let us get to know who they are. So it'd be a really good gathering, I think. One person that's not going to be there, it'd be really nice to be there, it'd be Dan Wilson. He's running for the Supreme Court. So again, that's March 29th at the Yogo Inn. And I hope everybody comes because we really need to stay engaged and learn who we're voting for.
Shane, what time is that again?
At 5.
Okay. Thank you.
But another important event is we have a data center discussion at the Council on Aging on March 19th at 6 p.m. And that data center topic was talked about at the EBER event that I went to on Monday morning. And it's, data centers are a big topic. And people locally are concerned about, power use, water use, and so on. So come on down March 19th, 6 p.m. to the Council on Aging to hear about that. Another good event we got coming is Lewistown Bowhunters Banquet is March 21st at the Trade Center at 5 p.m. My first opportunity to go, so I plan on being there at the Lewistown Bowhunters Banquet, March 21st, 5 p.m. at the Trade Center. And one more event we got coming up, Defend Our Democracy, on March 28th at noon, Saturday at noon, at the Fergus County Courthouse. Again, that's a opportunity for us to, come gather as a community. And that's it for the announcements I'd like to make.
All right. Do you want to have anything else on the agenda?
Oh, yeah. No, I always have quite a bit I could talk about. I had a great experience. I want to tell you about this. Had a great experience Monday, March 9th at the DMV when I went to get my driver's license replacement. I had requested through the system. The system didn't produce it, and I wrote him an email. And when I showed up there, the guy knew all about it. Said, "Yeah, we can issue a temporary for now." with cars coming online, it's a new software system and also a new driver's license production company. Things fell through the crack, and I happen to be one of them. But they were really helpful, really great experience. It wasn't a bad thing at all. So that was good.
That always helps.
In several meetings. Yeah, it was great. I attended several meetings throughout the week. On Monday, one was the Montana Liquid and Gas Pipeline Association meeting about pipeline safety, and the area's first responders were there, and also the companies that respond to pipeline issues and are they themselves first responders to fix things and keep people safe. It's kind of like a far out and waiting meeting in terms of, if this happens, first responders, this is what we need you to do until we show up. So that was a good thing. And on Tuesday, March 10th, I went to the TIF board meeting, Tax Increment Finance board meeting, where I got to meet the guys on the board. I didn't know who all was on the board. Now I do. And we got hit with TIF bills in the legislature this last session, Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 3, and I didn't know a thing about them. Thankfully, one of the board members sat me down before I went to session and schooled me up, but I need more schooling, so I plan on attending those kind of things, because I know there's a Western District state senator, who basically wants to gut TIFs, and we like them over here in this area because they do good for us over here, so I'm going to try to learn about everything I can about tax increment finance districts. And after that meeting, the University of Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research seminar was about 4 hours from 8 till noon. I missed the first hour because I went to TIF board meeting. But some of it was on, is it time for a sales tax? And, basically the picture I got at the end of that was that there's not enough money in a sales tax to replace either the property tax or the income tax. And some alternatives were discussed, and we're already doing some of those alternatives, such as on tourism, accommodation tax and car rental tax. It's going to be a hard nut to crack. We at the legislature need to fix that problem. We certainly didn't fix it last time. We created more questions than answers. So that BBER event was informative. I encourage people to go to those when they come around again.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we also have the semi-quincentennial coming up. Semi-quincentennial, I should say. And that is the 250th birthday of the Declaration of Independence. And we have a committee here in Fergus County. It's called Fergus County 250 Liberties Frontier Committee, that will bring extra events to the typical Fergus County 4th of July. And I encourage people to come to that. We did get a grant for $8,500 to do those extra things that normally Lewistown doesn't do. All the normal things will still happen. Part of what we're going to do is have an opening ceremony and flight presentation out at the Trade Center in the afternoon, and also a reenactment of the signing the Declaration of Independence. And we've got Judith Mount players have agreed to supply the players, and also a script is already in the works to being written. So I think that's going to be a great event out at the Trade Center on the 4th of July. And it's not too soon to start planning, and we're planning hard right now.
It's going to be here before we know it, honestly.
It is going to be here before we know it. And also, speaking of before we know it, that storm that was predicted to come, went into Lewistown yesterday to have my Constitution class with the homeschoolers up at Central Baptist Church, and started out, there was nothing going on outside, and then a little drop of rain, then big drops of rain, and then snow. So in 1 hour's time, we had every form of moisture you could think of here in the state of Montana, and the drive home was such that we need to hurry up and not come back to town today.
Yeah, good to, if you don't have to drive, just stay, or watch the road conditions, because they're going to change with the snow today too. So.
Yes, it didn't snow much here last night. There was snow on the ground already when they got home, but it didn't snow much during the night. But so far this morning, we've got another 4 inches out here in Grass Range. So,
but it's good moisture. It's a heavy, wet snow.
Yes. Yeah, we can't complain about the moisture. just hope them baby calves stay warm and nobody succumbs to that, because when they get cold and wet, it's a problem for them. But those ranchers work hard at keeping them alive.
Yes, especially with the prices right now.
Yeah, it's always important, but that is their livelihood.
So true. So Shane, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so. Just remember to come to those events, and looking forward to see everybody there.
All right. Well, Shane, you have a good day. Stay warm.
I certainly will, and looking forward to hearing from constituents. They can give me a call, 406-217-6107. And I get quite a few calls, and that's quite okay. That's why I do this. So thanks a lot, Heidi.
You're welcome, and I will be right back after this.